In recent years, Afghanistan is synonymous with conflict, with instability, crippling poverty, and also opium production. That said, the country, which was heavily dependent on remittances and also international aid before Kabul fell to the Taliban, did make some progress on various parameters after the 2001 US takeover. Now, according to IMF estimates in June, Afghanistan's GDP was on course to actually grow by 2.7% in 2021. That was, of course, before all that happened. According to the World Bank, the country received remittances worth $789 million in 2020, accounting for 4% of its overall GDP. Data shows that Afghanistan's GDP has grown nearly threefold since 2001. According to the World Bank, the estimated size of Afghanistan's economy was $21 billion in 2020. The period between 2002 and 2012, 10 years, was of rapid economic growth, with per capita rising by almost 100%. Afghan growth was mostly fueled by generous development assistance from the United States as well as its allies. Now, around three-fourths of the government's budget was funded by international donors. However, the development assistance peaked around 2013-2014 and started slowly coming down after that. And after international financial assistance shrank, growth slipped and deceleration came to the tune of -6% last year in 2020. Now, the period of rapid growth ensured that the country's economy relied less really on agriculture and more on services. But let's explain for you what are the components of Afghanistan's economy. There's agriculture, mining, utilities, manufacturing, construction, wholesale, retail, trade, restaurants, and hotels. Now, services are the largest component of Afghanistan's economy, followed by agriculture. Retail trade picked up, and so did transport and communications. The most noticeable aspect of Afghanistan in the last 2 decades has been improvement in the status of women. Enrollment of women at all levels of education went up. Their participation in the workforce also saw an uptick. The country's fertility index recorded impressive improvement. According to Our World in data, the global fertility rate is slightly below 2.5 children per woman, and it's halved in the last 50 years. In the case of Afghanistan, the rate, although still at an elevated level, has almost halved in the last 20 years. There was a big jump in life expectancy at birth in the last 3 decades as well. From 1990 to 2019, the figures increased from 50.3% to 64.8%. A substantial reduction in death and infant mortality rates has been another aspect of Afghanistan's development paradigm. Now, with the ascent of the Taliban again, there's a danger of all of these gains being made in the last 2 decades getting completely undone. There is an apprehension that Afghan women, of course, may face greater subjugation now that it's back to square one for them.